Let's see here. Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to say, Kalam by Yahweh, Shema Shah, by Shema Kakwadash. The one is the elders and apostles, a great millstone to do rule and teach well. And honestly, brothers push the truth across the four corners with all sincerity. Tons upon you checking in with another video. Lord, it be edifying to those who elect. We're just gonna get into this article from foxnews.com. Are we still on? Are we still on? It kind of blacks out on my end of this app. Key U.S. ally blocks airspace to military flights over Iran, escalating standoff with Trump. Spain has blocked U.S. military aircraft from its airspace and denied access to the road at Marone bases over the Iran conflict. So, read on, and this comes from today, March 20th, 2026. A growing standoff between President Donald Trump and a key NATO ally escalated Monday after Spain blocked U.S. military aircraft involved in the Iran conflict from using its airspace, marking the latest rupture between Washington and Madrid over defense policy in the war in the Middle East. Spanish Defense Minister Margarita Robles confirmed the move, saying Spain has denied both airspace access and the use of joint U.S.-Spanish air bases for any operations tied to the Iran conflict. So they're making a hard stand that they're not going to get involved, man. All right, and yeah, I think we're just gonna leave it like that. I actually might be a little bit more. This is me perfectly clear to the American military and the forces from the very beginning. Robles said, neither the bases are authorized, nor of course is the use of Spanish airspace authorized for any actions related to the war in Iran. So they don't want anything to do with it. So that's more division between America and its NATO and EU allies, all right? And a couple things, Spain is mentioned when you go to Ezekiel 38 as one of the nations that are going to turn back and hit this place, America, Babylon the Great, with missiles, man, right? As to the prophecy, all right, Ezekiel 38, right? And it's also going to be one of the many nations talked about Revelation 17 and 16 as well, right? And like also Obadiah, I think like the 8th verse. So we're going to get the Ezekiel 38 to start off with and just kind of go into that. So this is the book of Obadiah. Well, Ezekiel chapter 38. We'll start at 1. The word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Alright, so these lands were originally inhabited by Japhites, alright, but now it's referring to these Edomite Russians because they're the ones that are there right now. Now Meshech is Moscow and Tubal is Tobolsk, alright. And thus saith the Lord powerful that against the Omag, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Alright, so Meshech is Moscow and Tobolsk is in Russia. Yeah, both of them are in Russia, but Tubal is Tobolsk today. Alright, so we can go back down. This goes to Russian allies, but I want to bring that out first to designate, or well, not really, well, to show who this is talking about. All right, and this is a prophecy, where Ezekiel is prophesying against Russia, right, and talking about the future of them, what they're gonna do in the future that we're, living in right now, right? But certain things haven't come to pass yet. All right, verse 10. Thus saith the Lord power, it shall come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, thou shalt think an evil thought. Alright, so Most High is going to put in their mind to attack, America. Alright, thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I'll go to them that dwell safely, all them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates. Alright, because that's what America is like. It's one big city. Alright. That's why it's called Babylon, the Golden City. Because that's what it is. It's just one big city, pretty much. There's no gates in the ancient world. Cities had gates. Um, you know, like that's why it says things like Proverbs, the first chapter, the gates, the gates, at the opening of the gates, wisdom crieth without. Right, this represents the place of commerce because back then, cities had gates. And that's what the commerce would be. Right, people will come in with all sorts of things, and that'd be the place of business. People leaving, people exiting. You know what I mean? It's just like those like I always mention, like those little RPGs, man. Those role playing games. You know, you kind of see that you have you know a wall. There's all kinds of business kind of going on. You know, at the opening, people leaving, people coming back. You have all kinds of merchants and things like that. All right. So yeah, America's pretty much a giant city. You're a citizen. States are provinces. You travel. You know what I mean? There's no walls. Them that rest. Right? It's talking about America and Israel, man. All right. So that's gonna be Horse's idea is like, I'm gonna go at these guys to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn the hand upon desolate places that are not inhabited, upon the people that gather the nations which have gotten cattle and goods without in the midst of the land. All right, so they're gonna go and attack them, man. All right, I mean, let's talk about how America's a melting pot, all these different peoples, right? To turn the desolate places that are not inhabited upon the people that gather out of the nations, right? Because America has all kinds of different nations here, you know. Sheba and Dedan, and merchants of Tarshish, all the wines thereof, shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? As I gather, come to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil. Sheba Dedan is talking about Arabia. Tarshish is Spain today. Alright, so merchants, right, in Hebrew, it means to travel. So it's not just about merchants from Spain, but the surrounding nations that also do business with it. What you're talking about, these NATO and these EU nations. Alright, so you go into the last part, thou come to take a spoil, as I gather the company to take a prey, to carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil. So yeah, when Russia's about to attack, these NATO and EU nations are gonna be like, you really gonna do this? You know what I mean? And they're gonna join in. Alright. So that's why we're gonna get into, Revelation chapter 17 and verse 14. Alright, and we'll get into let's see where we at. Man, I might have to get, because I don't want to just start at 16. I might start a little bit ahead. So Revelation chapter 17 and 12. And the 10 horns without sauce, right? Which, 10 horns, they're pretty much going upon, I might have to start at bad a little bit. So he carried, Revelation 17:3. So he carried away in his spirit, and I saw a woman sit upon a skull-covered beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Right? And the woman is talking about America, or mystery Babylon, because it's once a mystery, but from our elders and apostles on down, their elders before them, it's no longer a mystery. Alright, we know what it is. Babylon, the great mystery Babylon. The mystery is broken. It's talking about America, the daughter of Babylon. It's America. Alright, sit upon a beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. Talk about the NATO and the EU. Alright, because they pretty much all work together to keep, and pretty much dominate the other nations. Alright, so this is the book of Revelation 17 and 12, and the 10 horns thus off. The 10 kings which have received no kingdom as of yet, but received powers. The kings went out with the beast. Alright, meaning being under them. Here's the notes. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. Right? Because they're in agreement. These beasts shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they are with them are called chosen and faithful. Alright, so yeah. So they're gonna try to fight against Yahusha and the angels. They gonna lose miserably, man. Alright, simultaneously the missile's gonna get shot off, and that's second just the 13th chapter, man. They're gonna try to also Revelation the 12th chapter. But second just 13th chapter talks about how Yahusha's gonna crack them clouds while these nations are fighting in the Middle East, World War III. They're gonna try to attack them, and then they're all gonna get burnt up. He saith unto me, the waters, and also Revelation 12 is there was war in heaven, the dragon and his angels, and Yahushua, let's say Michael and his angels, but it's really, Yahushua is above Michael, but, Michael's like next in command under Yahushua, so yeah. He said unto me, the waters thou seest, the Lord sitteth are peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues, right? Because America, is a dominant nation on the planet Earth, man. It's the chief city of the Edomites. And, Job 9:24, Edom is the ruler nation right now, starting with their elite bankers under the Rothschilds, right? So there's a great melting pot. Got all these nations under them. All of these nations want to flood and come here. It's the golden city, right? And 10 swords thou sawest upon the beast, thee shall eat the whore, and shall make her desolate naked, shall eat her fire, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Let's talk about these NATO and these EU nations, right? They're gonna hate the whore, and during World War III, they're gonna turn its back on America. They're gonna turn their back on America. And they're gonna shoot missiles to this place too, man. That's what it means by burning with fire, right? So yeah, they're gonna take part in its destruction, right? And that lake of fire they're gonna take part adding to that lake of fire, man, by shooting missiles at it, ICBMs, right? Because America is very proud, right? And they just want to fucking throw their weight around, man, because they damn devils. Damn devils getting at it with other damn devils, man. You know what I mean? So, I'm gonna let that be that, man. That's the prophecy, right? That during America's downfall, nations gonna, Russia, these different nations gonna shoot missiles at America. These NATO and these EU nations gonna shoot missiles too. And they're gonna shoot missiles to hit here, Babylon the Great as well. So, all the madness America pushes, the wars, and, you see here Spain doesn't want any part of that. And they're mentioned in prophecy. And Spain was right there in Ezekiel 38. So I'm about to be that Lord edify, and this is Shalom.